Hello and welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, and in this episode we are going to talk about another Windows 10 mobile episode here, where we are going to have a look at 3 different games again, which will be, in this case, Collision Hit, Legends of Taylen, and it has a subtitle or something like that. It's called Coming of Humans, and the third game is going to be Top Up Sports Bike. My name is Gerald. As always, I've got a couple of different things with me, which are, of course, a Bluetooth mouse like this one. I'm going to use a Foldable keyboard, which is this keyboard here. It is Bluetooth enabled too and gives me the opportunity to use really a full-size keyboard here with my smartphone, which, of course, is the Lumia 950 XL in this case, which is Windows 10 mobile running and has a Continuum feature on it enabled, so that we can have this more or less desktop-like experience on a big screen, for instance, which is created by our smartphone in this case. And if you want to know more about all this, please have a look at the corner there. There are more information about all this. And just to let you know, I'm pretty sure, I didn't check, so we will have to check it together. Let's see. I'm just going to go to my all apps list, and we are going to check if the games I searched for are available in the Continuum mode or if they are not. In the end, it's pretty easy to see, so I'm starting with Collision Hit in this case. And there it is. As you can see, it is grayed out. That means it's not Continuum enabled, and we will have to switch over to the mirror mode. How do we do that? We just go to our smartphone here, and then there is this 3-point icon at the top there. If you go to the display settings now, you will be transferred over, and you can go to the extended display settings. And if you go there, you can switch between mirror mode and the Continuum mode, more or less. And we are going to use the mirror mode in this case. As you can see now everything that is shown on the smartphone just mirrored to the screen, and like that we can play any kind of game we want here, which runs on the smartphone itself too, and we don't have to figure with the Continuum enabled one only. There are quite a few of them, but as mentioned before, sometimes you will run into this and then you will just have to switch over. It's pretty easy, then you can play it anyway, so do what you want there. Okay, so first off, we are going to go to our Windows menu in this case, and I'm just going to go down here to my all apps list and search again for not corpse or something, just come on, Collision, there we are, and here I'm going to click on that. Collision Hit is a pretty interesting game, I would say. It's more or less something where you will have to click on different kinds of elements on your smartphone or on the display, more or less, to deactivate them or something. I'm not sure. If you lose something of them, or if they are going to run over you without you having clicked one of the elements, then you are going to lose, or you will at least get lower points. It depends on the mode you're in. And as you can see, it's a pretty nicely looking app. Has a little bit of a very decent, meaning it's pretty minimalistic and very tasteful soundtrack we are seeing here. And as you can see, there is more or less one time your high score you already saw, and you can just go with a new game. And of course, a couple of other options you have here to continue the gaming or to mute the game, and that's more or less all you can do here. So I'm just going to turn around. We are going to use our mouse in this case to navigate around. So as you can see, mouse is here. We can use that, and as you can see, if I, for instance, click on new game now, we are going to go into the game. The game itself is more or less a tunneling 3D game. So as you can see, we have really a 3D part here, and we can go through here. This is not a frame rate or something. Oh, yeah. Okay, we already got killed because I have to type on the pyramids in this case. So why is this game? I'm not really sure, but all you will have to do here is more or less be fast, and especially with the mouse it's a harder game than with touch or something, because of course on the big screen, if you have to go to one of the different parts here, good thing is you just click on them, and as you can see they are going to move away somehow, or blend out or whatever, depending on the shape we are talking about. And all you will have to do in this case is really click on them. Sooner or later, you will see that there will be a change in that. So now you will have to click on the boxes too. Did that already there. And now you really have to just get rid of all the different shapes on the screen which are going to be there. The hardest thing about all this is more or less that you really can't get any of those go away. Pretty easy to do in the end for a smartphone user. For a mouse user like I am, it's pretty hard, and you really have to calculate a little bit, after a while at least, that you really get everything. Come on. I think I lost. Yeah, I lost. Anyway, to really click on everything you see on the screen, it's getting harder and harder after a while, and it's really not easy to overcome this. And yeah, all you have to do is more or less try to get rid of your high score there. So you can see there's this 1154 I already got, which was on the smartphone itself, so not with the mouse itself, because that's much harder to do. And yeah, this is more or less what the game is all about. You are just going to endlessly run into these, and it's going to be harder and harder to get all the different shapes here covered. Pretty nice, easy to play game. Really something you don't have to play for a long time. So if you have just a couple of seconds, whatever, and you want to play it in between, this one is a pretty good game for your set. So let's have a look at the second game in this episode. The second game is called Legends of Taylen, Coming of Humans. And this one is a game that is, we will see if you like it, because in the end it's more or less a game where you will have some kind of a text adventure. It's not exactly a text adventure because there are a couple of different elements, like for instance the character you are going to choose and stuff like that is a little bit graphical, but the game itself is more or less like it's storytelling by text. And let's see and have a look at that. It's really quite interestingly done, at least I think so. For that I'm just going to go to my all apps list here, and go all in there and put in Legends. There we are, Legends of Taylen, Coming of Humans. It takes a little bit till it's loaded, and after that you will see what I'm talking about. So in the end you are going to switch pages more or less of a storyline you are going to be told. But the interesting part about it is really that you have a couple of different things you can really select in a graphical way, while the storyline itself isn't selected more or less like that, but they are going to talk you through it. Here we are. As you can see, it's a pretty nice looking image here, and it's all about the coming of humans. So touchscreen to begin, we do that now. As you can see, you have a couple of different options here. You can go with a different language, of course. Because my smartphone is in general in German, you can already see we have the German language, and you can have other languages too. I selected the US, so English, so that we should be able to read everything that is on there. And as you can see, you have a couple of options, like for instance you can mute if you don't want the music to play in the background. I find it a nice soundtrack, so I'm going to leave it in. And then there is some kind of a loot part. So what did you already achieve more or less? Here you can continue with the story, or you start with the story again. And I'm going to start here, and as you can see, this is more or less the game itself. They're going to present you with a couple of different informations about what's going on, where to find help if you are stuck, for instance, because these kinds of games can be pretty challenging. And of course, so in the end, this is more or less what's happening here. I'm not going to go through all the different details here. You will have to read them if you want to play the game. It's a pretty nice one if you like this kind of adventurous games, whatever. And in the end, what is this all about? We have different chapters we are going to run through. After a while, this is not the game itself till now, I'm just showing you what is going on. After a while you're going to go to the character info, and here you can already see you can have a couple of different characters. So for instance, this one looks a little bit like something out of a Norm movie, and yeah, a pretty nice looking character. If you click on this, you can get a couple of different informations about the character. So yeah, of course, choose your character and finish the reading to read the story using a different character, since one lives depends points along the same story. So in the end you are going to select a couple of different characters here, so not only one. If you have this one, just go in and you can see you have a couple of different options here to select from. In the end, 3 types. One is this, I don't know, do you know Shredder? Or Shred, or whatever that guy was called from the Turtles. I think he looks a little bit like that. And there are a couple of other ones, of course, too. So let's see which one we want to choose here. In the end, you're not able to choose everything, so just try out what you want here. And as you can see, this one, for instance, can be selected. Now you can have 26 skill points, which you are going to contribute to different kinds of properties of your hero. So for instance, the strength property, of course, put something in there. You can see here it's going to be lowered, so you still know how much you can point out. Let's do something like this. Agility and aim would be fine too. Let's say something like this. So he's not very agile, so moving speed is not the fastest, but you are pretty strong. And of course, if you're not sure what this means, just go to the little question mark here, which is going to tell you more about all this. And if you are ready, I still have 1 point left, which I didn't, for whatever reason, didn't put in there. So let's do it like this. And as you can see, we are going to go in now into the prologue. So let's see, chapter 1, what would you like to do? So the game itself is more or less always some kind of a question where you have a couple of different, let's say, multiple choice questions or whatever you want to call that. So what would you like to do? Would you like to stay at the post, so the guards more or less, and have that, or would you like to go and check the situation? And if you read through the storyline, you are going to be put through different kinds of tasks and questions like that, and they really will tell you what's going on. So it's more or less like an interactive book or something, I would say, which is a little bit affected by what you're going to do here. And after a while, you will come to the next thing you will have to work with and try to out that. As mentioned before, it might not be for everybody, because it's really one of those, yeah, let's say text adventures, but if you are into storytelling and you like books or something, this is a pretty easy way to start with computer gaming or whatever. And of course, it's, yeah, maybe if you like the storyline, it's a pretty good one. So try it out and see if this is what you want to play here. And just to let you know, if you click on this again, you will go to the menu, and other than that, you can of course continue then from where you started from or where you were at, and then you can just go through your story. After a while, you will have to fight stuff and so on and so forth. So it's depending on what you are going to do with your different selections. You are of course going to choose there. And depending on which one you choose, you will go different kinds of paths in this storybook. So pretty interesting, but yeah, you really will have to like this kind of game, otherwise you might not want to play it. Okay, yeah, after that we are going to have a little bit of a more action-packed game, because that one was of course one of the ones where you really don't see much happening or whatever. So you're just reading through it. The fine thing about it is that you really, if you want to play this kind of game, you really don't have to hurry at anything. You can just go with whatever you want to do there, and it should be fine for you. Okay, so the last game we are going to have a look at is called Top Up Sports Bike. And what I already can see here is that my camera is running low on memory. so I will have to delete something and I will be back. And here I am back again, and as mentioned before, we have one game left which we are going to play, which is called Top Up Sports Bike. Top Up Sports Bike is more or less a 3D version of hill climbing or whatever. It's a pretty interesting game which I find very hard to play, you will see why. And in the end, I really like these kinds of games anyway, because they're pretty action-party, but a puzzly part is in there too. So let's see what we are watching here, or what we are going to face with. Top Up Sports Bike is the game. I'm just going to click on it. I'm going to turn around, otherwise this kind of game is not playable. And as you already can see, we have more or less a motorbike which is going to be in here. And what I already can see here, hopefully I can change it, yeah, okay. Sometimes if the games are in this mode, you will have to move your smartphone, so the orientation is going to be changed and you can play it in a better way on the big screen. So, first off, here is a couple of different options you can do. For instance, of course, play the game. You can go to the settings. If I go in here, there's not much to see, just if you are more or less muting everything, so sounds and audio in this case. You can of course play this game too if you want to. I'm just going to turn down the volume a little bit so I can talk to you in a better way. And as you can see, we now have just these two options. You can go to help to see what's going on. As you can see, this is going to be the game. We have an accelerator at the left part, and then where you want to go to, and as you can see, it's going to be 3D. This is more or less all you will have to know, or more or less to play this game. It's a pretty easy to play game on the smartphone itself. We will check out together if I can at least use my keyboard for it, because some of the games really are only playable on the smartphone itself. It's looking kind of nice, so of course not the newest graphics or something, but in the end it's looking kind of nice because you will have a couple of different camera movements and stuff like that going on here. It's a 3D game which is done from the side, of course. And let's see if we can do anything without our smartphone. No, we can't. It works with your mouse, but I can already tell you this is not going to work out pretty well, because if I can't use my keyboard at the same time, we are going to lose this very, very fast. I'm just going to try it now, very, very carefully. We are driving over hills and stuff like that. Of course, that's just how these kind of games work. So make sure that you're not going to fall down or heads first into the ground or whatever. Is all you will have to do in this kind of scenario here. I can drive it along, as you can see, with my part here a little bit better than I expected actually. But in the end, if you really want to play this game, you will have to use your smartphone for it and not go over the big screen. Good thing is you can of course do both. You can really use your smartphone more or less as a gamepad in this case and play on your smartphone while you are watching the big screen. I'm often doing it like this. And yeah, what I'm going to do here at the moment, of course, is getting killed. But the thing is, you can really play this game like this if you want to, but it's really not how it's intended to be. In the end, what you want to do, of course, is to use the parts where you are going to lay more or less into one of the parts there. So go to the left or to the right, depending on if you are going down or up. You will have to more or less counterwise that. And after a while, come on, restart. It takes a little, it's not hanging or something, it's just loading the scene again at the background. And if you want to jump over the intro again, you can do that easily like this too. And now if I just use my smartphone as a controller more or less, I'm going to die even faster. Perfect. In the end, what you already can see here is you're going to get points for doing some kind of jumps and turnarounds and stuff like that. And so it's more or less what you are supposed to do to go through these levels. I never played this game before in a successful way. using some of the clips and stuff like that. So whatever you want to do here, try it out. Maybe it's working for you better than for me. In the end, the game itself is very, very self-explanatory. And yeah, what is going to happen if you click on, for instance, this part? Okay, perfect. What's going to happen if you click on the left or the right turning is just the bike is going to more or less move up or move more or less into the ground. Depending on if you're going downhill or uphill, that can be helpful. But I really find it a little bit hard in this game. I of course played a couple of other ones where it was much easier, but it's working. It's not like it's not working or something. As you can see, if I click on the button at the part, he's going to try to move the part down or up, depending on what I'm going to click there. You can already see that in a kind of fashion there. So let's see if I can at least do it in a slower way for now. In the end, in these kind of games, they are trying to tell you how to do the game at the start, because it's really hard to play this if you're just pressing, for instance, the gas pedal down or whatever, and try to go faster and faster and faster and faster, you're going to die. It's just normal in this kind of games. So just try this game out if you want to. I find it a little bit hard to play, but some people are just better in these kinds of games than I am. So try it out. I think it's a worthwhile part if you want to, and if you like this kind of game, it's a pretty good, Nintendo, whatever, to try it out. So this is more or less this game. What more to say? It's more or less the last game in our episode. I hope you had fun with them. If you want to download everything and play it here by yourself, go to the description down below. Make sure that you're following the instructions I gave there, or click on the left side or in the corner there, because in the corner there you should be able to see more information about one of the videos where I'm telling you how to get games in this late state of Windows 10 Mobile, because Windows 10 Mobile, the store itself, is no longer fully functional or available for it, so you will have to go with a workaround, which you can see in one of the videos I put in there. Other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, have a great time, have a great day. I hope you liked the episode. If you did so, please give it a thumbs up. Of course, if you didn't subscribe to the channel till now, do it now. And other than that, see you around in the next episode, and bye. Bye.